This is Sarah Jones on the Politicus Pod for Politicus USA's The Daily. Make sure you subscribe to our Substack so you don't miss any episodes. Today we are going to talk about the 3 takeaways after today's verdict in the E. Jean Carroll defamation suit. In terms of the takeaways, there's the legal, the political, and the personal. Legally, to set the stage for this in context of the other cases that Trump is facing, his lawyer argued today to nullify a jury's finding, and the judge slapped them down, and that argument is basically an argument not to follow the law. Trump's lawyer told the jury that he wasn't guilty of this, but a previous jury did find him to be liable for sexual assault. So that argument is one to not follow the law. If we were to go around nullifying the findings of juries because we don't like them or we don't agree with them, that would really undermine the rule of law. And so it was really good that that failed today on top of this huge reward that the jury came up with. But if that argument of the jury nullification had been successful, it would have set the stage really to undermine the entire U.S. court system. And that would be very beneficial for someone like Donald Trump, who is facing 91 felony counts, 91 charges across 4 different criminal cases, including 44 federal charges and 47 state charges. All of those are felonies. And additionally, a separate fraud case, that's a civil case. And there's no telling if a criminal court is going to come to the same conclusion that this jury did today, but it is still a good sign of the legal system upholding the rule of law when it comes to Donald Trump. And he's been really good at delaying the legal system and obstructing it really for his whole career. So this has been a moment that's worth celebrating in terms of the United States, the rule of law, and what it means for Donald Trump. So the jury that they came back today with this total of $83.3 million for defamation. $18.3 million of that is compensatory, and $65 million is impunitive damages. So that is for defamation that Trump committed while president. That $65 million in punitive damages is meant to punish and deter Donald Trump from continuing this behavior, which he has continued to engage in from this 2019 moment up until, recently. So this judgment signals that they think that the defendant's conduct is outrageous, and they are hoping that this high amount will deter him from continuing this behavior. There's no telling if Donald Trump has the money to pay this judgment, were he even inclined to pay it, or forced to pay it, which would be interesting to see. But the jury penalized Trump in a way that shows that he is facing some accountability in the courts. Both today's case and the fraud case are civil cases, and the former president has not yet been tested in criminal court. So the second way that you can look at the implications of this judgment is politically. Politically, right now, we're in the midst of the Republican primary, and so this is going to mean absolutely nothing. Republicans, Trump supporters, they've already decided that this is fake, but in the general election, this is not going to be good for Republicans. It will hurt them more in the fall than right now, especially given that we are in this post-Roe environment in which women have shown tremendous political power in recent elections. Trump has already attacked this decision on social media, and he will continue to attack the media and blame President Joe Biden for the decision of a jury over which he has no control. But these attacks are unlikely to move many voters other than Trump's core supporters. So when you hear this argument that this is really going to be good for Trump politically, it may be good for him politically in a Republican primary, but this is not good for him in a general election. And he needs to win a general election in order to become president. So for the third and last take on this jury award, this was a really important victory for survivors of sexual assault. And in the U.S., women have watched as Donald Trump was elected after being caught on tape bragging about grabbing women by the you-know-what and getting away with it. So there has been this ongoing sense that that justice escapes the powerful, like Mr. Trump. It's been important for victims and survivors to hear that no one is above the law and that they matter and that their voices are important. And I think we can thank E. Jean Carroll for her persistence. It can't have been easy for her thus far. It certainly wasn't easy leading up to her first trial, and I think it's only gotten worse since then. Donald Trump's supporters can be violent at times, and so anyone who takes him on is taking on this entire movement that operates not as a normal political movement, but more as, I want to say, a terrorist organization, in the sense that anytime they want a political outcome that they can't get through the democratic process, they will try to achieve that through threats, intimidation, and at times violence. And so that's what someone like E. Jean Carroll is going up against. And we all owe her a debt of gratitude for having the fortitude to continue doing that. So in closing, I think it's really important that the jury gave U.S. democracy this really strong argument that shut down the attempt by Trump and his lawyers to suggest that the rule of law shouldn't apply to him and that jury decisions should be nullified when one doesn't like them. So all in all, this is a very good judgment. This is a very good sign for our legal system. It's a good message for survivors and victims of sexual assault. And we are waiting for the fraud trial, the damage amount in that, and that's expected on the 31st, but it could come in earlier. It's hard to say about that. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is Sarah Jones on the Politicus Pod for Politicus USA's The Daily. And, don't forget, if you're tired of billionaires controlling the news that you see, which is pretty much everywhere, and you want to support independent news that puts the people first, please subscribe to our Substack.